So welcome again to Bloomerang Academy. Thank you so much for joining us. And today we're talking about text fundraising with Bloomerang and Qgiv. We all know that text fundraising is a highly engaging tool your nonprofit can use to engage your donors and raise money and increase awareness about your cause. So today you're going to learn about how you can use this versatile tool for all your fundraising needs. And to help us learn today is Justin Cook from our partners over at Qgiv. Hi, Justin.
Hi, how's it going, Diana?
Good. I'm excited to have you here.
I'm really excited to be here as well. I always love coming on the Bloomerang Academies and talking about great topics and all the fundraising tools that we do offer here at Qgiv.
Awesome. Well, I know we have a lot to cover, so please take it away.
Sure. So, hi guys, my name is Justin Cook. I am the product marketing manager here at Qgiv. I have been with Qgiv for over 3 years now and a marketing professional for over 6. Time really does fly when you're having fun, and digital marketing and optimizing the user journey are my areas of expertise. And basically what that means is that I try to make your online experience with Qgiv as easy as possible. Whether you're trying to learn about our products or you're looking for fundraising resources through our blog or our downloadable content that we have. And I do have 5 animals, 3 dogs and 2 cats. I am at home today as well, hence the virtual background. But hopefully they don't crash our party today. But they are a handful, but I love them. So let's talk about agenda. So today we are talking about text fundraising. So we're going to take a look at why text fundraising is an effective tool for your nonprofit to use during your fundraising campaigns. We're going to take a look at some text fundraising best practices so that you have a knowledgeable base on what to do and what not to do when using text fundraising. We're going to cover some use cases and examples from Qgiv clients that have used our text fundraising tools for their campaigns. We're going to give you an overview of Qgiv's text fundraising tools and the integration with Bloomerang and how you can integrate those two with your text fundraising tools. We're going to go over some pricing and support. And as Diana mentioned, at the end, we'll have a Q&A so that we can cover all of the questions that you may have. So let's start with a quick poll. Who has used text fundraising for a previous campaign or a fundraising event? And the reason why I ask this is because text fundraising is a very powerful tool for your nonprofit, but some organizations we find have been hesitant because they don't know how to use text fundraising, or they aren't aware that text fundraising is an option for their organization. So my goal today is to show the best ways to use text fundraising and pique your interest in using it. So with that, Diana, what are the results?
It looks like we have 69% have not used it yet and 31% who have.
Well, that's exciting. So I get to introduce at least 69% of you to all the wonders of text fundraising tools. And with our advanced users, I can teach you a little bit of how Qgiv can help you with some of your campaigns if you've already used it. So why is text fundraising a great tool? And we always want to start with this important question, because it's one of those where if you don't know why to use it, you just choose not to use it, right? So let's talk about why. So 91% of Americans own a smartphone, and they look at them around 80 times a day. So text fundraising is very engaging. You want to meet your donors and capture their attention where they are and meet them. And that's the way you do that is through text fundraising. So you know your donors are looking at their phones. So when you do send a text message, we see that 98% of the time, donors will read your text message within the first 5 minutes of being sent. Now, talk about a high open rate for that, right? And on average, with the Qgiv platform, we do see that the average donation amount is $102.65 for text donations through our platform. And over the last year, text fundraising has grown 205%. And that's a huge growth curve. And it shows that text fundraising is becoming more popular with both nonprofits and donors. The virtual environment has proven that text fundraising can be utilized to both connect with your donors, and we're seeing that text fundraising is here to stay. Of the group of donors that we've surveyed over our generational giving report, we see that donors do prefer to give by text fundraising. So 10% of the people that we surveyed decided that text fundraising was their preferred option over email, social media, direct mail, phone calls, and any other giving methods that you have. So this is an option that your donors prefer. And we mostly see that the younger generations prefer text fundraising. So think Gen X, millennials, Gen Z, which is really no surprise since younger generations are easily like technology and they adopt to it faster. And I don't think this is a shock, but baby boomers tend not to prefer the text fundraising method. So stick to the traditional fundraising methods with them, like direct mail and phone calls. And finally, text fundraising is versatile. So in general, text fundraising can be used to accept pledges, whether it's for your year-end fundraising campaigns, your year-round fundraising campaigns, or even during events as well. And it is also a great option to send personalized thank you notes to your donors to thank them for giving to your organization. Specifically for your fundraising campaigns, for your year-round fundraising campaigns that you have, you can use text fundraising to send out general appeals, to gain donations for a specific campaign that you have. You can update donors on your nonprofit news and any fundraising progress for those campaigns that you're running. And you can even use text fundraising to engage donors that have either lapsed or are at risk of not donating to your organization anymore. So text fundraising is a great way to re-engage those donors to continue to give to your organization. Another use case for text fundraising is through events. So you can send invites and important invite news for your events as well through text fundraising, much like your general appeals for year-end fundraising. And when you're actually running your event, whether you're doing an in-person, you're doing a virtual, or you're doing some sort of hybrid event with both options, you can run appeals during your live stream, show your keyword and your donation number as well, and have bidders just donate through text fundraising. So it's a great way to engage donors both virtually during events or on site at your events. Specifically for auction events as well. Let's say that you have an auction item, it's a high ticket item. You want to make sure that donors know that it is an option, it is available to be bid on. You can use text fundraising to alert bidders to that. Or if you have an auction item that is struggling to get bids, you can raise awareness by sending out those text messages during the auction itself. And finally, and a great use case, and one of my favorites is peer-to-peer fundraising. So not only can your organization use fundraising tools to raise money, you can then, through peer-to-peer fundraising, provide those fundraising tools for your donors as well so that they can raise funds on behalf of you, on behalf of your organization, and reach out to their networks and use text fundraising as well. And finally, you can also use text fundraising for giving days and year-end fundraising campaigns as well. And we all know Giving Tuesday, it's very hard to stand out. There's a lot of different nonprofits that participate, and text fundraising really helps you not only differentiate yourself from nonprofits, but to engage your donors on those days. So make sure to stand out, use text fundraising. You can use it for appeals as well during those times. And an update on fundraising progress for the year. You know, we're in year-end fundraising campaigns. We're right at the end of the year. We tend to send out one last appeal. So you can give an update to your donors on where you are on your fundraising progress for the year and have a final push for donations through text fundraising. So let's talk about some text fundraising best practices. What are some things that your organization should consider when you're using text fundraising and some things that you should avoid? So the first and foremost is keep it simple. So choose simple keywords, because text fundraising, while it is a very easy tool for donors, there are some hurdles that you need to overcome to make sure that it's a seamless experience. So for example, text message autocorrect. It's on Android devices, it's on iOS devices. It's one of those things where you have to plan for it, because if you enter a keyword in there and it gets autocorrect, it's going to create a bad experience for your donors. So make sure that you choose a simple keyword and make sure to account for that text message autocorrect. 2, donors may forget or misspell your keyword. So you want to use natural text casing in your keywords. You're going to want to use acronyms as possible to keep it as short. And you're going to want to tie that keyword to an event or a campaign, and even your organization as well. For example, you have all LRC Gala there as a great keyword example. that not only ties it to the organization itself and LRC, but it also ties it to the event itself and the gala. So use acronyms, keep it short, and keep that natural casing where possible. And finally, long keywords, time consuming, it opens it up to autocorrect. So make sure that they're short and sweet. You don't want feed all the kids in Lakeland. That just breeds a potential for autocorrect to mess it up or for your donors to misspell your keyword in there as well. Next, test. So as we're talking about with setting up your keyword, once you do choose a keyword, you're going to want to test it. You're going to want to ask friends. You're going to want to ask family, coworkers to help test these keywords and make sure that one, that autocorrect is accounted for on both Android and iPhone devices. You're going to want to ask them to try and remember the keyword as well. So are they struggling to enter the keyword into their texting option in their phone? Are they forgetting the keyword? If any of these occur, then you're going to have to go back to the drawing board and really think about that keyword and make it very easy for your donors when they are going to give through this option. Next, write it down. So you could have the greatest keyword of all time and the greatest campaign, but if your donors don't know that you have text fundraising an option, they're not going to know that they can give through it. And it's such a simple type of fundraising tool that your organization can use that it breeds itself that you can put it anywhere. You can put it in screencasts during your events. And when you're running appeals, you can put it on a brochure that you're sending out. You can put it in social posts, in your fundraising emails, on event signage, direct mail appeal. I mean, the possibility is really endless here. So you can put it everywhere. And make sure that you include both your keyword, your number, and any other pertinent information. So for example, we have here with our text LFP Gala to 50155, we also ask them to include the amount they wish to donate, which will speed up the process just a little bit for donations, and to add their name and any message that they want. And this provides it, this will show, if you show this at fundraising events as well, all of that information will pop up. And that's something great that donors would love to see. And finally, use it wisely. So text communications are great. Like we said, they're highly engaging. They go directly to the phone where your donors are, and they're highly personable. But the problem is that if you overuse them, it can be very intrusive to donors, and it may turn them off to your organization. So when you do use text fundraising, please make sure to communicate with donors occasionally. Don't barrage your donors with text. You have a great example here where you have 4 messages sent in a span of about 2 minutes. That's very intrusive. So we definitely encourage you to send occasionally fundraising appeals and updates to your donors. Use text communication to communicate important information related to both events and campaigns. And again, send those occasional fundraising appeals. And the last one here, have donors opt in to receive communications and let them know the frequency of text to expect. So if donors can opt in to receiving text messages, they can then choose exactly what they want to hear about from your organization. And if you provide them that frequency of text messages, then that also helps them to understand what to expect from your organization and is more likely to lead to a better donor experience with those communications. So let's take a look at a couple of text fundraising examples of organizations that have successfully used text fundraising with Qgiv. So one of my favorites here is Fresno Mission. They included text fundraising in their Giving Tuesday campaign. They had a very simple keyword. I don't know how you get more simple than this. It is just Fresno. It is a great keyword. They included the keyword in many of their appeals, and you see the example here. This is from one of their social media pages. They had their impact statement, as well as impact images, and they also included their text keyword and where donors could go to actually donate online if they chose not to use text fundraising. So you have all of those options there, and very great use case for it. And they also emphasize recurring donations and how donors will make a greater impact. And they included these in the automated emails, text messages that come after the donations as well to thank donors and encourage those recurring giving. Another great example, another one of my favorites is Junior Achievement of Northern California. So Junior Achievement was running a virtual gala and had an auction event with this as well. which also included Fund a Need here. And they not only reached, but exceeded their $300,000 goal. So what did they do here? One of the best examples here is that they did include their text keyword onto the site that they had with Qgiv, so that provides high visibility and to get donations to that as well. They ran multiple appeals throughout their live stream and pulled up exactly what we were talking about: the keyword, the 50155, the number to text, and the other pertinent information. And when they did those appeals, they showed their fundraising thermometer as well. Always a great thing to do, especially because the example that we have with Junior Achievement here is their last fundraising that they appeal that they ran. They were 96% of their way to the thermometer, and they ended up raising 118% after that fundraising appeal. So always pull up those thermometers so that you can really drive the final donations coming through. And then finally, one thing that we like to see and share is that they had a scrolling banner at the bottom with the names of their donors. Donors love recognition. And it's also another use case for something that we'll talk about later, and what I was showing, what we call our FunHub Live, to show off donors' names and the donations that they gave to your organization. Finally, we have Pilgrim Pines Phonathon. So they hosted a phonathon using text fundraising, which is a very interesting use case for it. They used text fundraising in their Facebook promotions, specifically with these graphics. So this really calls out their text fundraising keyword, and Pines, another very simple keyword, very easy to remember and use. And they use these images across all of their different fundraising appeals that they had. And they even posted video testimonials from employees, volunteers, and campgoers on social media to encourage the donations, and included links to both their event page, and they included their text fundraising information as well. So let's take a look at Qgiv's fundraising tools. And give me a second here as I log into our Qgiv client platform and navigate to the place that I need to go. So the first thing that I want to show everyone here is our contact list management here in Qgiv. So you'll see here, we are logged into our Qgiv platform, and the first thing that we see here are our contact lists. So contact lists are exactly what we were talking about with those subscription lists, right? So we can have our donors opt in to specific keywords that we have set up to create lists of donors, so that we can ensure that we are communicating with donors with the exact information that they're looking for. So you can see here, I have a couple set up already. For example, here we have our subscribe keyword, and the list name is subscribe. So subscribing to email, text communications from Qgiv. You can see that you can set up a specific keyword for this as well. So subscribe to events. That's a little long, but that is something that you could do with your text keywords, and it helps donors to specifically opt into communications from your organization. You can also see here that we have automated messages that follow up once donors do opt in to receive those communications. So we can customize all of these. We can add different types of personalization, such as their first name and last name, and any type of message that we want here within the character limit that is set. So this is a great way to thank donors and encourage them to get more involved with your organization. We also do have opt-out settings that you can customize as well and you can put any type of message and be creative there to encourage them. We also have the ability here in Qgiv, if you do already have a list of donors that has agreed to receive communications from your organization through text, you can actually import them through here. We do provide an example template as well to make it as easy as possible for you to get them in there. And finally, once you have donors subscribed to that list, you'll actually see that list pop up here. And you can edit, delete them based on if you need to edit anything with a specific donor, you can do that here as well. And this will provide the list of everything that happens, all the donors that you have on these lists. So the next thing I want to show you is, it's really my favorite part of text fundraising, and it's outbound text messaging. And the reason why this is my favorite part is exactly what we've been talking about already, is how engaging text messaging is and getting donors' attention. I already know that they're going to see my message. So it's more about how do I continue to get them to donate to my organization and to continue to get them to provide donations and support our organization. So this is why it's my favorite. Outbound text messaging is a great option to send out fundraising appeals, send out in event and reminders, and important update during those events as well. So you can see here, it is a simple WYSIWYG. So WYSIWYG is what you see is what you get. It's super easy to edit these text messages and add any type of appeal that you wish. You simply give it a name. And we do have templates as well. So if you wanted to add a template here in test 2, you can do that as well. And if you want to edit these and change out the appeals itself, you can actually save a new template. So new template, and save that template here as well. And you can see that it's saved successfully, and we can use that new template now. So an easy way for you to save templates, and then for other Qgiv users as well within your organization to edit those and send out text communications. And another favorite part of this here, I love personalization. It's one of my favorite things about marketing in general. And I also think that it is a very great way to not only engage donors, but then to personalize the communications that you send to them and make it tie them more into your mission. And so these, what we call tags within the Qgiv system, is just that. It's a personalization. You can add in a first name, a last name, their phone number, their email, their organization name. You can add these tags, your organization name, excuse me. You can add these tags to personalize messages to your donors so that you can communicate with them and really connect with them to your mission. So the next thing here is actually how you would send out these messages. So again, going back to the list that we had earlier, we can actually select from our lists of recipients for our contact lists on who we want to receive this message. So right now we have the subscribe list selected. And if we actually had multiple donors in here, I could actually choose who I wanted to send it to and who I didn't. So if we had specific people that we've identified on that list that we don't want to send to, we can just simply uncheck and not send it to them. And finally, you can actually schedule these text messages to go out. So we do have two options here. So the first one here is just to send it now. So if you want to send out a quick message and get it out to your donors, you can do that here. Or let's say you are setting up your event and you know that you want to give your donors about a 5-minute heads up that the event is about to start and to get seated. You can actually do that here, schedule a specific time and date for that to go out, and click continue. You can send a test message as well so that you can check to see how that looks on your device, or you can save as draft and continue from there. Lots of great stuff. Really, really love the outbound text messaging. Let's talk about your form now, right? So with the great thing about text messaging, and specifically for using the text to donate platform that we have here at Qgiv, is that when donors opt in to donate to your organization, they will actually see a link and linked to the form, to a form that you have within Qgiv itself. So you can see here that we have a Lakeland Food Pantry text demo form here, which they would land on once they do decide to donate to your organization. And I wanted to show you something that's really great in the platform, and something that I really, really enjoy as well is the campaign settings. So you can see here that we have our text to donate keyword, and it is our Qgiv demo text. We gave the campaign a name, and we can actually decide if we have start end dates. Again, this is a great way to tie keywords to either events or a Giving Tuesday campaign where you have a start end date. And if it's for a general fundraising campaign, then you don't need to add anything. You can just turn this on and let it go. And I know I keep saying this, another favorite thing of mine, but really it's the automated messages here as well. So automated messages allow your organization to help engage with your donors, especially if you've been accepting pledges. So for example here, if someone has shown interest in donating to your organization, but they haven't completed their gift. So let's say they texted your keyword, but they haven't visited the form and filled it out. We can help you send an automated message to those donors to actually complete their pledge. So you can see here, thank you for your pledge. Please visit this short code to fulfill your pledge. And we have one specifically for once they do donate. But let's say, like I said, let's say that they haven't fulfilled that pledge. So what we're going to do, we can actually set up a specific time and date for this follow-up. So we could do 1 day after they texted in. We could do a couple of days. We could do minutes, hours. I mean, it's really up to you on how you want to do this. And we can insert all of those tags. But really, these reminder messages are there to help encourage our donors to complete their gift and fulfill the donation to your organization. And you can even add additional reminders as well if you would like. So, if we want to communicate with donors, let's say 1 day out, 3 days out, and maybe a couple of weeks out, to make sure that they remember that, hey, you did pledge a donation to our organization. Please fulfill your donation here. So great utilization for your organization in terms of automation and being able to help donors and get them donating to your organization. And another great thing about the Qgiv forms as well for text donations is that you can add different images tied to donation amounts, and you can even add what we call our recurring giving prompts. So these features help your organization to convert donors into recurring givers. So all they simply need to do is click on that. They can even create their own little recurring giving plan. They can choose their frequency of what they want to give and their donation amount as well. Another amazing feature that I love is what we're talking about with the on-site events, right? Or your live streams, where you can pull up a thermometer and all of that great information that we've been talking about for your donors so that they can donate through text fundraising, right? And this is a live keyword. So if you guys want to test this keyword out, you can. It's Qgiv demo text plus the donation amount, and you can add your first and last name to there as well. And FunHub Live is part of our text fundraising platform, and it makes it easy for both live stream virtual events and on-site to just pull up your thermometer that you have and show it off and ask donors to donate through text fundraising. So again, checking off that box for write it down, correct? You can do that through here. Oh, excuse me. Another thing too. So we have another thing in here called FunHub Live as well. So think of this as another addition to the way that your campaigns and being able to collect all of your campaign information into one place. So FunHub gives you the ability to make one landing page to show all of your fundraising efforts across everything. So you want to show your entire fundraising goal, you can do that here. You can show how much you've raised through donation forms, through peer-to-peer, and through auction events as well as have these options to share through social media. And another great thing too, since it is built on our event editor, which is also a drag and drop type of widget and landing page editor, you can even add buttons and your social. You can add impact statement with an impact image as well. And even buttons to go donate to different places within your organization or to register for your events. FunHub Live, although FunHub Live is included in our text fundraising, but FunHub is included in our Giving Essentials package. So they are separate, but they can go both hand to hand to help you with all of your fundraising campaigns that you have. So now the next thing I want to show you is the integration with Bloomerang. So this lives under our report section in our service integrations. And we have all of our integrations under here, but specifically for Bloomerang is what we want to run through here is all of the options that you have. So you do have the option to run this manually, or you can do this on a preferred frequency that you have automatically. So you can set this to automatically import information into your Bloomerang account every hour, or you can do it daily. And we have great options for your organization as well to get all of the information that you need from Qgiv into Bloomerang. So you can have a specific start date that you have. If you're running it automatically and you want to have a specific end date for these as well, you can set that here. You can include offline and matching donations. You can override any contact opt-in information that you have received in the Qgiv platform or in your Bloomerang platform. You can enable soft credits, and you can even mark donations as acknowledged. Another great thing here too as well is that you can have a default mapping for both your funds, your campaigns, and your appeals. So for here, I already have a couple of selected here. So let's say I get a donation, it doesn't map over, it don't have a specific campaign tied to it. I can just drop it into what we have here for our Qgiv transactions. We're going to put it in our campaign of greatest need, and the appeal was an online donation. And we also have additional fields that you can map as well. So really, we have a ton of different options within Qgiv that you can map over into Bloomerang, and you can select those here. As you can see, I've already selected a few for source, transaction time, and payment type, but you can do all of that here. So let's talk about exporting specific text campaign information. So how you would do that is you would open up the Bloomerang service integration and add an export type. And then you would choose the type, which would be the text campaign, and then add your mapping. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to select our text campaign that we have, which is our Lakeland Food Pantry mobile suite demo that we have. And we're going to map that to one of our appeals, our funds that we have within Bloomerang itself. So we do have a few set up already for our text fundraising campaign and our appeal. And then we're going to choose our Qgiv demo. And then all we have to do is click save. Another great thing too are the custom mappings. So if you want to add custom mappings, all you need to do is go in here, choose which object you want to integrate that with, what integration field that you want to map over. So let's say we want to know who their employer is. And then all we have to do is add this over here into our Bloomerang mapping and click save. So you can add any type of custom mappings that you have as well, whether that is a static field that's already in Qgiv, or if you have any custom fields that you add and any standard fields as well. So tons of options for your organization to make sure that the donor data that you have in Qgiv can get over into Bloomerang. So let's go ahead and go back to my PowerPoint slide. So I don't know if anybody has went ahead and donated through that, but we do have that live example. If you want to check it out, all you need to do is text Qgiv demo text plus your donation amount, and you can add your name as well. You don't have to. And that will walk you through the experience that we have with text fundraising. So you can see how easy it is for your donors to donate to your organization through this option. And you donate that to 50155. So when you do receive the text message, there will be a link in there, which you can click on, which will lead to that form that I showed you earlier. And this is some dummy credit card information that we have. So it is 411 followed by 12 ones that you see there. You can put any expiration date that you want. I always suggest at least a year out to make sure that it doesn't error out. And you can put in 555 as the security code as well. So you can see how easy it is for your organization and your donors to donate through text fundraising. So let's talk a little bit more about the text fundraising platform here at Qgiv. So we have a specific text fundraising platform, which includes the text to donate option, which we talked about. So that is a form-based text fundraising method. Donors initiate a gift via text message, and before visiting a mobile form, they complete their donation. So you can see how that would work over here. We also add the ability for your organization to create custom keywords. So again, making sure that they're simple, they're easy to use, but you can really get crazy and invent any keyword that you want, but make sure to make it simple and follow those best practices that we talked about. You can also send out those outbound messaging. Again, one of my favorite things to do with the text fundraising campaigns, because I can really engage my donors at that point. We do offer that those subscriptions to different email, text communications from your organization here. So it's a simple flow. All they need to do is enter the keyword for the subscription to 50155, and they'll be opted in. We also offer the option for donors and your organization to pledge. So really, they just follow the same. And if they decide that if they forget to donate, or they're not ready to donate, or they just wanted to pledge and they'll revisit it later, that's where those automatic reminder messages come in that we talked about. And finally, the FunHub Live, which is included in our text fundraising tools, is a great way, again, to show off not only your year-round fundraising appeal success, but you can also use it during your giving day, your year-end fundraising, and any events that you host. And obviously the Qgiv integration and Bloomerang integration is here. And you can see that from Bikes Not Bombs here, setting up the integration itself saved them hundreds of hours of manually entered data from Qgiv into Bloomerang. And as they say here, they'd be lost without it. So it is a great integration between our two platforms, and really great to help you get all of that donor information into Bloomerang. Let's talk about a little bit of pricing. And I first wanted to bring up that Qgiv is an online fundraising platform for all size nonprofits. And we do have more than just text fundraising tools. We have year-round fundraising tools, such as donation forms and event registrations. We have text fundraising, peer-to-peer fundraising, and auction tools. And we always say it here, but you are at the center of everything that we do. And our goal is to make fundraising as easy as possible so you can raise more money online. And if you're interested in learning more, Diana will have a poll at the end on any more information that you guys want, and we can reach out to you, or you can visit us at www.qgiv.com and request a demo for a personalized demonstration of the platform. Specifically with text fundraising, what's included, like I said, is our outbound messaging, our custom keywords, the automatic messaging and reminders, the ability to manage donor outreach lists, and that FunHub Live screencast that we're talking about. It is a great, engaging, and quick and convenient tool for your donors. And specifically with the text fundraising platform, we do have it at $129 a month, or you can save a little bit of money and do $297 a quarter. We do have transaction fees that are 3.95% plus 30 cents per transaction, or if donors decide to do e-check, it is 1.95% plus 50 cents. We have 2,000 outbound messages included in the package a month, and any overages are 2.5 cents per message. And you have all the features that are in our starter package, which includes text to donate, which includes our text to donate option with the text fundraising platform, and our donation forms and our event registration system as well. We also have the bill to carrier option. So this option is through the Mobile Giving Foundation. So there will be a one-time application fee to get approval for that option. This bill to carrier option is the way where if donors enter in the keyword and your number, this will automatically charge it to their phone bill. So it is a quick way for donors to donate to your organization and not have to visit a form. However, there is a couple more fees associated with it, and you have to get approved through the Mobile Giving Foundation. This is just something that you have to do. It's nothing that we can change. And through the Mobile Giving Foundation, there is an annual fee for the first keyword of $1,788 a year. And then if you want to add any additional keywords, it is another $1,188. So as we talked about as well, we have all these other packages as well. And included, you'll want to upgrade to that Giving Essential so that you can integrate with Bloomerang. And you'll also get access to that FunHub that I talked about as well. So you can combine all of your fundraising efforts and campaigns into one easy to view hub, right? And you can show all your thermometers and all of your fundraising efforts through there. We also have our peer-to-peer fundraising platform as well, and our auction tools. And if you're interested in trying all of Qgiv's fundraising tools, we have a specific impact plan. And if you're a high volume organization, we highly recommend this. You'll get unlimited access to all of our donation forms, our event registration forms, our peer-to-peer events, text fundraising, and auction tools as well. So Diana, let's go ahead and open it up for some questions. I've seen a couple come through here.
Lovely, thank you. And I don't know if Brendan wants to jump in with some of the questions too.
Yeah, we did have quite a few questions. I wanted to clarify just a couple of points. Can you all hear me okay? I have a bit of an
I can hear
echo.
you.
When it comes to the payment processing component, Qgiv works with WorldPay. Our direct connection is through the Lidl platform. So that's what you're going to get if you come to Qgiv without an existing relationship. So everything that you see on our pricing, everything that Justin just went over is going to be inclusive of that payment processing account through WorldPay. And that's all part of the setup process with Qgiv. That said, there were some questions about Stripe and other payment processors. We do have limited payment processors that we can integrate with. Some of them are Stripe, Authorize.net, Chase Payment Tech. There's a couple that we can send out to you, but just know that there's a slight likelihood that if you wanted to stick with your existing payment processing, whether it's through Stripe or Authorize.net or another provider, we may be able to work with that. So that's more of a just give us a call, let us know that you're interested in that, and we can kind of address based on what you're using today. But again, just to reiterate, all of our pricing is all inclusive. It does include payment processing as well. And we can go wherever we want to go next, Dan. I know there's a bunch of them. There's like 9 open ones, so you tell me.
Yeah, there's a lot of great questions here.
Yep.
Let's start with the general questions. So if a constituent gives you their phone number, is it implied consent to be able to text them, or do we need to get more explicit consent?
I would lean towards more explicit consent on that side. So it's sort of like your email opt-ins that you have for anybody opting into communications. You can put in on your form a little disclaimer that says, hey, if you provide us this information, then we're going to opt you in to receive text communications. But you would, if you don't have any disclaimer like that, it is encouraged to add a type of opt-in field to make sure that they're actually subscribing to receive communications from your organization. Otherwise, you could get in trouble. There's a lot of different communication types of laws out there. So make sure to add some type of disclaimer to make sure that donors see that hey, when you give us your information, you're giving us express consent to reach out to you and provide an option for them to opt in or out.
Wonderful. And when a donor gives via Qgiv, what information does the nonprofit get about the donor? And kind of related to this as well, since donors are more likely to complete a gift if they don't have to enter a lot of information. How much information can nonprofits get so that they can use that as a springboard to build the relationship?
Sure. And I can jump off of that with one of the form that we were looking at earlier, right? So we do have base donation fields that are included on our donation form, which includes first name, last name, email, address, and there's other types of fields that you can add at that point as well from the back end. So those are the base ones that you can get in terms of donor information. We do have custom fields as well that you can add, including, you can see here, such as the employer. You can add in that phone number option as well. So it's really, you can get a ton of information from the donor, but they would have to enter that information on the form here. And just as a general statement, as I always talk about with donating online, you do want to lean towards making it easier for donors to give. The more options that you have on your form, so if you have a ton of custom fields and a lot of information that donors have to fill out, it's more likely that they're going to abandon the gift itself. So I always encourage that, we have these base fields, and adding a couple of custom fields, asking for additional information. But in general, you want to minimize how many that you are adding there.
And which of these fields are required?
All of these are required up here. So first name, last name, you have email here, and then the address. you can see next to this one here with the employer, that is the one that is optional. So that is one of our custom fields as well. And you can do that with the custom fields, is make them required or option as well in the back end for the form settings. We also have what we call conditional content as well. So if you ask a question for, my favorite example is if you ask a donor to volunteer with you and they say yes, you can actually show another field on top of that to ask them what are they interested in volunteering for. And if they click no, that field just doesn't appear.
And I'll just expand on that a bit for those of you who may be concerned with so many fields. You know, the whole point of text fundraising is to be quick and concise and make it a lot easier for folks to complete the gift. We do have an option to minimize that all the way down to just payment info. So you have to kind of weigh the benefits to your organization. Do you want to really, have the information to cultivate that relationship, or are you okay with just the dollars coming through with limited information to follow up on that donor? That's your call. We have organizations doing it all over the board and anywhere in between. So just know that there are options there, and you can get to kind of choose how you want to collect the information.
I love that. This is only the start of the relationship. You don't need to get all of the information now.
Yep.
Right.
So there is that good balance there. If you have those required fields, you can add custom fields, but you also know your constituents best. So try to find that balance of collecting that information. What about for newsletter signups? Can constituents sign up for newsletters through text without giving?
Yep. So it would operate in a similar way. So when I was showing off the subscription list earlier, you saw that we had a keyword up there, and that I can show that again here. Sorry for all of the back and forth here, but in our lists here, so you'll see that we do actually have a newsletter set up. And our keyword is newsletter 2. So all donors would have to do is put 50155 in there and then newsletter 2, and it will actually subscribe them to that list that you have. And I do have an example on our slide all the way back here you see how you have the subscribe to events here. This would subscribe them to receive updates from that specific list. So yeah, they don't have to add any money to it. They can just subscribe specifically to that list. And then you'll also have that option in the back end of Qgiv when you're sending out outbound text messages to add in that list on who you're sending it to as well.
Lovely. And in terms of the Bloomerang Qgiv integration, what is pushed to the Bloomerang constituent side, or on what is pushed to Bloomerang on their constituent side or on their timeline? Do they show the actual text message, for example, or just the transactions?
It'd primarily be transaction data. Obviously, with our integration being as flexible as it is, you can really map a ton of the different fields that we have on the Qgiv side to those respective objects or fields on the Bloomerang side. But ultimately, it's going to be focused on the transaction. You will know that it's come by way of text. That's a field that you'll have from a reporting perspective. But think of it as kind of your standard constituent data and transaction data.
Great. And what are the advantages of using Qgiv over GiveLively? Question here.
I don't know much about GiveLively.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd love to learn more about what you're trying to accomplish, Carrie. GiveLively is just not one that I know too much about, but we can certainly discuss what you're trying to accomplish and learn more about your organization to see if you're a good fit.
Absolutely. There isn't any one straight answer. It really depends on what you're trying to do. And our friends over at Qgiv would be more than happy to talk you through that, what exactly your needs are.
Yes, ma'am.
We have a request. Justin, can you show us the pricing again, please?
Yes. So we have the text fundraising platform pricing, and then if we want to see the overall pricing, we have this here as well.
And this is always available on our website.
Yeah.
So we have very transparent pricing. It's always going to be available for you to take a look at on our pricing page.
Yep. And you can go qgiv.com/pricing. That'll pull up that information. All of that's there. We're very open about everything here and all of our transaction fees and our costs and all of that. So all of that information will live on Qgiv as well. And Dana, you're sending out slides as well, so that'll be included too. So
Absolutely. I love that. I wanted to call out again, Justin mentioned this earlier, that we're talking specifically about text fundraising today, but there's other options or there's other fundraising tools that you can use within Qgiv.
Bryce, I see your question come up again. I thought we had addressed it. Maybe I wasn't clear, so I apologize for that. When you're talking about both platform fees, there's not typically a scenario where I got your message there. There's not typically a scenario where you're stacking fees. In most cases, you're paying for the payment processing fees and then the platform fees. It's really a question of whose payment processing fees are you paying? Are you paying an existing provider like Stripe, which you have through Bloomerang, or are you going to go with the full package of Qgiv and are you paying the WorldPay fees, which is included in our pricing? So it's always just a factor of what's going to work best for you, whether you have existing relationships with payment processing firms that we can integrate with, or if you need to start fresh with the Qgiv version. But we can, again, that's one of those things where we can kind of assess what it is that you need and what's best for your organization. I know we have several other questions that I'm not sure where we're at because I see them all over the place.
That's okay. I'm also going to launch, it seems like we're getting a lot of questions that might warrant more of a follow-up. So I'm also going to launch a poll right now of who would like an additional follow-up. That's great for if you have an additional question. There is no commitment to buy, so to speak, but if this is a great opportunity to talk through the scenarios that you have to really make sure that our friends from Qgiv can help you and make sure that that is possible through the integration. We have a clarification here as well. Do you need to buy both the Giving Essentials and the text fundraising platform? Is this the only way to get the Bloomerang integration with the Giving Essentials one?
Correct. That integration that we showed, you would need the Giving Essentials package to get that integration. So as we mentioned earlier, we do have our starter package. It is $0 a month, and that includes our donation forms and our event registration forms. To get the integrations and some of the advanced reporting that we have out, we have some other great features coming here later this year as well that'll beef up that as well. You would need the Giving Essentials package. And then if you're looking to use text fundraising as well and being able to, you would need to add that package as well, and you'd be able to automatically import that information from Qgiv into the your Bloomerang account.
Lovely. And Jillian, perhaps you can clarify for us. Her question was, is there an option to send donors to a different link? For example, our organization's website instead of a Qgiv page?
Oh, absolutely, yes. Jillian. Yeah, and in fact, we saw a lot of that kind of concept increase throughout the pandemic. Our clients were looking for new ways to engage with their clients or with their donors, and without a lot of the in-person events that they were doing, they were using and leveraging things like our text fundraising tool, which does have that SMS communication piece. So it's really what you want to put in the content of that message. Because we have the full outbound messaging suite included in text fundraising, a lot of our clients were taking advantage of simply that, just from a communication or a subscription standpoint, as we've covered a couple times on the call today. So yes, you can send them to different links. It can be an engagement piece simply from an event update standpoint. We've seen clients use it a number of different ways, Jillian, and we'd love to work with you on that as well.
Wonderful. What about the keyword? Is the keyword unique for the organization or the campaign? What if it's in use by someone else?
So if it's in use by someone else, we have our customer success managers who will work with you to find a keyword that is available. So it is unique across the platform. So if it is already in use, we would have to find another keyword for you to use. But again, our success managers are there to help you out as much as they can. And you can also add different keywords for different campaigns, as we talked about. So if you do want to set up a campaign for a year-round fundraising appeal, and then one specifically for an event, and then one specifically for anything else that you are looking to do, like Giving Tuesday or a specific year-end appeal that you have. You can do that as well through the platform as I was showing you earlier.
Wonderful. And if you're having, if you're creating campaigns within Qgiv, I wanted to clarify this. Do you import your contact information from Bloomerang into Qgiv?
I'm not sure I understood that question. I apologize.
Perhaps Snee can.
Is it the last one in there?
Yes. Do you have to import the list of emails into Qgiv instead of integrating with Bloomerang?
No, I can't think of too many scenarios outside of our peer-to-peer solution where you would need to import emails. Certainly on the invite side of a peer-to-peer campaign, importing email addresses as a participant and being able to reach out to your friends, family, and contacts, that's an option. But for this component, no, there wouldn't be a need to import any of the emails into Qgiv. Really, that's the only thing I can think of is the peer-to-peer where you would be importing emails. So I hope that answers your question, Snee.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much, everyone. Those are so far all the questions that we have. Oh, Snee said yes. Thanks, Snee.
Great.
And we're right at about 3 minutes left. I want to thank you again, Justin and Brendan and Kimberly, who's here as well. This is a lot of great information. I particularly like the thought of when we think of text fundraising, it isn't just text to give, but how can you use text to engage your donors and help out with the rest of your fundraising? Yes. Justin and Brendan, is there any last words for our participants today, our attendees today in terms of text fundraising?
I think I said it all. It's highly engaging. It's versatile. You can use it for any one of your campaigns that you have set up. And like I said, it's one of those where you're going to grab the attention of your donors because they have mobile phones are one of the most utilized things across the board. So definitely a great way to engage donors, whether it's virtually, in person, or any type of hybrid type of event that you hold.
I love that. Meet your donors where they are.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Yep.
Brendan, were you going to say more?
No, that's really it. I thought Justin did a great job of covering it. If there's anything that we can address on a deeper level specific to your organization's needs, obviously you'll have our contact info and feel free to reach out. We'd love to chat.
Absolutely. As a reminder, this was recorded, so you'll get an email with a link to the recording and the slides. The slides include that pricing. If you have additional questions around the pricing, around the functionality, please don't be shy. Our friends at Qgiv would be happy to talk to you about how you can use the solution to help you raise more money and engage your donors. So thank you again so much, everyone, for joining us today and spending an hour of your day with us. Thank you, Justin, Brendan, Kimberly, for all this wonderful information. It's always so helpful. And we hope you all have a great rest of your day, and we see you in another Academy class soon.
Yes, thank you for having us.
Yes, thank you. Bye.